dog food, which if it wasn't Walmart, I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't put it past anybody in Walmart to eat dog food. So I go in there and I'm sitting there, and there's somebody else in the stall next to me, and we're both shitting, or trying to, and it's just silence for like 4 minutes. And I realize we're locked in like this little game of chicken, like shit chicken, like who's gonna be the first to make some anal noise. And I lost, I won, I couldn't hold it anymore. And as if I'm not self-conscious enough about like the sound of shitting in public, somebody walks in, and he walks in, and the first thing he's like, oh, and he walks out. And I've only had that happen one other time. I was taking a hangover shit in Barnes & Noble, and the guy walked in, and he's like, oh my God, and then he just walked out. That's how you get instant privacy to yourself in the bathroom. I was always a bit of a problem kid. Not that I was a bad kid, I was just emotionally fucked up. And I got bullied a lot, and I was always coming up with ways to not get bullied. And my dad used to watch bull riding. So I was sitting there watching TV and watching these guys get on these bulls, and I was like, wow, that's, you know, they have to be really brave to do that. It'd be really tough to get on a bull. So that's what I decided, I'll do that. I'll be a bull. So, yeah, that was my ambition in first grade. I wanted to be a bull. So I would just run around the playground, like trying to headbutt kids that were picking on me. And so I'm sitting in the guidance counselor's office later, and he's explaining to me why this is unacceptable behavior. He's like, you can't go around trying to headbutt people. And I was like, excuse me, I was trying to gore people. But I feel like I was a bit of a problem child because my mom and dad had to have this argument, and I feel bad. What happened was I was in school and my pencil broke, and the girl, I said to myself, I was like, wow, that's really sharp. And the girl in front of me said, no, it's not. I was like, yeah, it is. She's like, no, it's not. If you poke my finger, it wouldn't even bleed. I'm like, yes, it would. She's like, fine, do it. So I did. I stabbed her. And she started to bleed. She told on me, and they called my parents. And so I get home, and the first thing my dad says to me is like, I got a call from the school today. What are you, a fucking retard? Get upstairs. So I go upstairs, and I'm sitting in my room, staring at the ceiling, crying, trying to figure out what a retard is. I didn't know because I was 6. And I hear my parents downstairs having an argument, and I'm a parent now, and I feel bad that I made them have this fight. They had to have this fight over whether or not I was retarded. It's just them downstairs arguing. My mom's arguing the case that I'm not retarded. My dad's arguing that she needs to go get me checked. My parents get into a lot of stupid fights. Never really physical. But one time, they're just unreasonable. Because one time my mom was cleaning out the fridge and she was throwing out old food. And they got into an argument over whether or not these steaks were bad or not. And she said they were bad and they're throwing them out. He's like, don't throw them out, they're too expensive, we're not wasting them. She's like, I'm throwing them out. So my dad kicks my mom's ass. Not that he beat her, he literally he got so mad. That was the first thing that came into his head. He literally kicked her in the ass. And immediately I was like, oh, fuck. Because, not that I was afraid my dad was going to hit my mom, I was afraid that my mom was going to hit my dad, because she doesn't take that shit. And so they had this big fight, and she's going to her mother's, and he's yelling about how he's going to get divorced and going upstairs. So he goes upstairs, and she leaves and storms out the kitchen. And I'm just standing there in the kitchen like, so what are we doing for dinner? Because you kind of got me in the mood for steak now. I guess I'll just make it myself. I finished school. I'm taking my national exam this month to become a certified emergency medical technician. And because I like helping people and I think I could make a difference, maybe do something productive and give back, I was watching my neighbor die the other day. And it's a true story. I was out in the yard, and he was out in his yard, and he started having a heart attack. And I never really liked him, so I just watched. And so his wife comes out, and she's screaming, all hysterical, screaming her head off, and now I gotta go in the house because I can't fucking hear my music over her screaming. And yeah, he ended up dying. And I was just thinking, maybe I should have done something. But I was like, you know what? I'm not in school. I'm not getting credit for this. And I'm not on clinical. And I'm not even certified yet. So I could let this one go. And my dad hated this guy. Like, he hated, even after I told him he died, he's like, doesn't change the way I feel about him at all. He's a fucking asshole. So like, okay. I felt, hold on. Oh, I had a question for Elliot. Elliot, you're doing that time machine thing.